Yeah, I did.
Certainly. Special meeting, allow me to take roll, Mr. Mayor. Council members Friedman,
Here.
Manukian, Najarian,
Here?
Weaver,
Here.
Mayor Quintero.
Here.
Now, the agenda for the March 26, 2013 special meeting, public meeting of the Glendale City Council is posted on Thursday, March 21st, 2013, on the bulletin board outside City Hall. One is a public hearing director. The first item is a public hearing, Director of Community Development regarding revisions to approved sign program for the Americana at Brand Nordstrom and a request for variances. At 1A is a motion approving revisions. 1B is a motion approving sign variances.
Okay, before you read number 2 into the record, Mr. Ochoa.
Yes, sir. On the item before you as item 2, public hearing regarding proposed development 5-story apartment project generally located at Doran, Pioneer, and Central. That item is, we are requesting that be opened and continued until 1 week from today. The proponent, as you know, is from out of the area up north. They have requested that we continue the item. So it will not be heard, but I believe we have to open and continue the public hearing.
Open and continue without public.
Okay,
public
I
notice.
have 2 speakers. That's why I wanted to make them aware. All right, well, in that case, read number 2 into the record, Mr. Clerk, and then I'm going to have them speak, and they can...
Certainly, Mr. Mayor. At number 2 is a public hearing as well as stated, Director of Community Development regarding proposed development of a 5-story, 315 apartment units project, Site A, to be located at 607 through 633 North Central Avenue, 317 through 321 West Doran Street, and 314 through 324 Pioneer Drive, and a 5-story, 192 apartment units project, Site B, to be located at 526 to 540 North Central Avenue, 200 through 214 West Doran Street, and 527 to 531 North Orange Street. 2A was a motion approving Stage 1 design review, Site A, subject to comments and conditions of approval, and 2B is motion approving Stage 1 design review, Site B, subject to comments and conditions of approval.
Okay, so rather than have a presentation by the staff and so forth, I'm going to let the people from the...
You just open the hearing, Mr. Mayor.
Right, I'll open the public hearing, let the people from the public speak, and then next week is when we're actually going to make the presentation. So I have 2 cards. Ed Tomasian, followed by Alex, I can't read the last name, Araksanian. All right, start with Mr. Tomasian.
Mayor.
Good afternoon, honorable council members. I'm a resident of Glendale, and also we're a tenant in 607, so I wanted to make that clear, so it's not we're not hiding anything. But anyway, I had a couple of concerns. I guess, would this same thing be discussed next week, or?
Yes.
Okay.
It will be discussed next week,
Okay.
presented and discussed.
Okay. In that area, as you know, Central, Brand, and Glendale, they're very congested. Getting in, out is very congested. It's almost like past 3 or 3:30. You can, I really avoid it because you can't get in, you can't get on the freeway and off ramps. So my concern was traffic. Is anything being done by the developer to ease the traffic as they're building all of these apartments? And afterwards, about 500 here, and I believe 610 has a couple of hundred apartments. So there's going to be a lot of traffic afterwards, also after the construction. How they're taking care of this, because either it's all the traffic has got to go through here, or all the side streets where a lot of people will be affected. And my other concern was pollution. Has there been a study, like an EIR, done on these as to what's the impact on the environment, the pollution of the cars moving in and out of there, not during the construction, but afterwards? I know during construction it's normal. I'm an engineer myself, so I know that there will be some disruption. But afterwards also disruption, are there any on-ramps, off-ramps being added? And due to the increase in the traffic, is there going to be anything done to take care of the safety? As you know, right a block away there's a school, so most of the cars, I'm sure they're going to take the detours from the side Doran to go towards Pacific to escape the traffic, and there's a big school there. So I was wondering if these are any items that the developer has taken into account or will take into account.
Okay.
I think these are.
Well, we will absolutely have answers to those questions and responses when we present the project.
Okay, and that would be the same time, 3
Same
p.m.
time.
next week, next Tuesday? Okay, thank you.
And any other questions you may have between now and then.
I can present at that time?
Sure.
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Alex Alexanian, and I live over at 343 Pioneer, one of those two residential buildings. And this is the first notice we're getting of this project. I can't believe the project size of this. And this is the first we're hearing of it, and it's already going to the council for approval of the first phase or whatever it is. This is a huge project for that area, and as you know, as the other gentleman said, it's already congested. I mean, we have a hell of a time getting into Pioneer and out of there at the traffic light because of all the traffic that's coming through the freeway and the other way. I'm really surprised that this hasn't been made public before. The plans have not been distributed so people can take a look at it, see what it is. There's an open space there. There's some medical buildings with a lot of open space, and they're going to take all that away and put a bunch more apartments here. I suggest we put some of these apartments north of the freeway where the councilman lived, like they said the last time. The second question, why is this meeting taking place during working hours? Why isn't it taking place at 7 o'clock like the other meetings when other people can show up? Especially now that we got this notice, we're in the process of mobilizing all the people that live in those buildings and around there to come and make their opinions known to the council, because this is going to cost us a big, big problem. And finally, I'm glad that it was postponed, because I was going to suggest that why not wait a week and have this meeting then, because there's going to be an election and some of you may not be here, so you shouldn't be judging this project if you're not going to be here then. That's all I have to say. I'm glad it's next week. Thanks.
Okay. You're in the Pioneer Towers?
Yes.
How many stories is that?
That's 18 stories.
18 stories?
Right.
Okay, the next and final card is Raj Sharma.
Thanks for having me.
Your name for the record?
My name is Raj Sharma. I live on 321 Doran Street. I'm here with a few other residents of Doran Street, and I've spoken to a lot of our co-tenants, and I've only been there 2 years. A lot of them have been there for a lot more, up to 30 years, some of them. So they're very nervous about this proposal, just because they don't know what will happen to them. And my concern, though I'm fortunate enough I could move elsewhere, I know that a lot of them may not have as ease of relocating. And my concern for them more so is, they may not be able to live in Glendale just because Glendale isn't a very cheap place to live. And most of the construction, most of the options out there for renting, it is pretty expensive. This property in particular, I know, it's older, so tenants have been there a long time, and it allows them to stay in Glendale and live within their means. But if there's a new complex being built, I have no familiarity with it. I just know that it may cause a lot of grief to these family members who've been there for many, many years. And I think a large focus should be on what will happen to the tenants there, more so than what with the potential built. That's what I'd like to share. And there's plenty of them who share similar sentiments as I do, and they're just not here to speak for themselves.
And this apartment building will be demolished?
This is one of them, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Okay, I'll close the public hearing, and I need a motion to...
Make the motion, but understand this is a stage one. We have no traffic analysis. We have no environmental document. All that is yet to be done. There'll be plenty of public meetings in that phase. This is just the stage one. So make sure there will be the traffic analysis. We understand the loading on Central. the impacts that will occur. That'll all be identified in the environmental document. After that, and the stage 2 comes in, then we'll make a decision on whether to let it go or not, or downsize it or whatever. Okay? And I'll make the motion to continue it to next Tuesday, I know that date, April 2nd,
Second.
2013,
Okay.
For the public notice.
without further public notice.
And that will require, or the project will require a full environmental impact report, correct? Okay, great.
That's my understanding.
All right, roll call.
Council members: Friedman,
Yes?
Menuchyan, Najarian,
Yes.
Beaver,
I
Mayor Quintero.
Yes. All right, we're at 1. Mr. Ochoa.
Yes, sir. Exciting update that we have, or consideration for you on our brand-new flagship Nordstrom store. As you saw last, I think it was 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, when GGP came in as their completion date neared, and their idea for their sign program became more clearly defined, they approached the city council for review and consideration of that revised sign program, and required variances that go along with such signs. Similarly, now that Nordstrom's is in that final part of their development for the new store there on Colorado as part of the Americana, we have for you their request for revisions and variances for their sign program. With that, Tim Boy, our Planning Division Manager, Deputy Director of Community Development, will give you a brief presentation and answer any questions you may have. Tim?
Thank you. This will be a very brief presentation. This is an amendment to both an amendment to the sign program for the Americana, just because they're adding more signs. As you know, sign programs by themselves do not allow you to vary from the code, so they also need sign variances for just a few of the signs. These are easier to explain with pictures. One of these signs which requires a variance is in the lower left corner there, the Nordstrom, and that is over the. It's a directional sign over. It's a valet. I'm sorry. It's over an entrance, and it's larger than is what is normally permitted. It's about 19 square feet, and staff believes it's justified just because of the speed and of the traffic on Colorado, as well as the width of the street, and it makes a larger sign. A larger sign just makes it easier to see. It just makes sense. Secondly, here, also on the Colorado facade, on the very left here, you see a projecting sign. That requires a variance because you can have a wall sign, which is 1 square foot for each linear foot of frontage, or a projecting sign, which is 1 square foot for each foot of frontage, but not both. Actually, they are asking for both a wall sign and a projecting sign on the Colorado facade, but together they still don't add up to that 1 square foot for each foot of frontage. So they're kind of playing within the limits of what is allowed here. And just because of the great length of that facade, we feel the variance is justified. Okay, this is the right-hand corner here will be the corner that faces the green. And the vertical sign under the spire there, because it is taller than the roof of the portion of the building to which it is attached, it technically becomes a roof sign, which is not allowed, although it's still lower than the overall roof of the building. And then finally, sign E, which is a marquee sign over the doorway, is just slightly larger than the size of what marquee signs are permitted. I think it's 34 square feet where it could be 28 square feet. And because that almost entire facade is hidden by other buildings, we feel that that's justified as well. That concludes my presentation.
Else? That's it? I have one card. Open the public hearing. Margaret Hammond.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, and staff and audience. This is normally my nap time. My name is Margaret Hammond, and
Today's your
sometimes I
birthday.
like to
What nap?
So I'm
You should
yes,
be
right.
partying all
I just
day.
couldn't miss seeing you, lovely people today. And of course, when it comes to signs, you know how I feel about them. I don't think there's any necessity, particularly on the street, on Colorado and that area, to have larger than normal signs that are allowed. Why do we keep making them larger? We never make them smaller, do we? And all the years that we've tried to maintain our city's quality of life, it was a hard battle getting the signs off of Brand Boulevard. How many of you have lived here? And what we went through with all the signs and so forth that were there. And we fought, we got them taken down and revised and whatever, and not made larger. Here we are, we're going to make them bigger. From 28 square whatever feet to 34 is inside on the green, but again, it's the public looking at it. I definitely object to the one being larger on Colorado. I don't think it's necessary. People know where Nordstrom's is. And we already look at the corner of Colorado and Central. I sit there looking at those huge, huge signs, bigger than, well, my front door. No, bigger than the front of my house. And I don't think we need any more of those signs. I think they're absolutely unnecessary. People know where those shops are and so forth. And to put in more and more of these signs is unbelievable. And the whole thing has changed. The whole thing about Americana has changed from the original plans that were allowed or for the signs has gone completely out of sight. So as I say, being me, I'm against any variances being given on sign size. If they're going to be larger, if they're going to be smaller, I'm in agreement. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll close the public hearing. Any comments or questions, Mr. Weaver?
Well, the only thing, I can read the drawings, I can do that, but it would have helped if there'd been some schematics, color something, showing those signs on the buildings' faces, so we could visualize how it would look, especially on Colorado. Pretty hard to tell from these drawings. But Americana, I think in my lifetime on council, Americana was the best vote I ever made. What it started downtown. As far as identification, maybe we were 60s, 70s, 80s, we changed things, but this is a new concept downtown, the Americana, the revitalization of the Galleria. Major tenants need to have signage to show where they are. It's important to them. We're going to see that with Bloomingdale's and all the others that are coming in. And as far as seeing it from a distance, I cannot see any of the signs. Maybe I can see the tower, the Eiffel Tower parking structure, or the elevators from way up at my house. But other than that, I don't see downtown. I think it's appropriate. It's the beginning of creating a life in downtown Glendale. This is just one component. I don't have a problem with it, though I wish I could have seen them more visually than in this drawing. So I'm okay. Let's get it done.
Any other comments? I do have a motion.
I'll move it.
You need to close the public hearing.
Close the public hearing.
And I'll second it.
Roll call.
Council members: Friedman,
Yes.
Nukian, Najarian,
Yes.
Weaver,
Aye.
Mayor Quintero.
Yes. Next, please. Motion to
Motion
adjourn.
to adjourn. I'll move it.
Second?
Right, we are adjourned. Mr. Clerk, we will now